Research reveals the need to support businesses in adopting responsible drinking practices. 4 out of 5 employers do not have alcohol in the workplace policies in place, according to a report by the Work Foundation one from Lancaster University. Now this is interesting because I look back at sort of my youth at TVNZ and so forth. God, all we did was drink on Friday nights. And TV3 in the early days as well. We had Friday night drinks and it was really generous and we went for it. And no one was concerned about how we got home or when we got home, whatever. And, of course, with health and safety rules, it all comes back into the workplace, doesn't it? Are they responsible for this? So 4 in 5 employers do not have guidance on inclusive social events, such as having non-alcoholic beverages available. There's no policies. A report commissioned by the International Alliance for Responsible Drinking also found that more than 1/3 of managers agreed socialising in person is important given the increase in working from home. So how do you do this? Do you do it drink-free or do you have drinks there? And I wonder if New Zealand's drinking is going through a bit of a cultural shift. The stats, New Zealand alcohol consumption per capita has also declined 29% since 1986. God, we were big boozers. I look at myself and God, I used to be a terrible drinker. Made all my worst mistakes on drinking. Now, I really touch the stuff. I'm not a non-drinker, but I really touch it. Virginia Nicholls is the Executive Director of the Alcohol and Beverages Council and is with me now. Virginia, g'day. Nice to have you on the program.
Yes. Yeah, hi. Yeah, thank you very much, Duncan. Good afternoon.
The workplace isn't always interesting because it's always been a bit casual, hasn't it? In terms of let's have work drinks on a Friday. Who's responsible? It's all very casual, isn't it?
It has been casual, and I think this sort of information, this comes out of the UK, and okay, it's not New Zealand, but I think it was a pretty thorough sort of research that they actually undertook there, and I should just provide a little bit of background. They spoke to 1,167 senior business leaders across Great Britain. The fieldwork was earlier this year in April and May. They did a literature review and they did a round table. So, I think a lot of this we can bring over to New Zealand, but I think some of this actually represents the fact that businesses are quite busy out there. But you're right. I think we have tightened it up a lot. We've changed the way we're drinking, and we drink. It has absolutely undergone a cultural shift. Like you spoke about the fact it's declined by 29%. But the other thing is that we're drinking differently. Like when you look at the New Zealand Health Survey, it says that 84% of us, that's adults, nearly 4 out of 5 of us, are drinking beer, wine and spirits responsibly, which is an increase of 3% in the last year, which is brilliant. And it also means that hazardous drinking is going down, and that is really good news.
Yeah, what's it like out in the provinces and so forth, the rugby clubs and things? 'Cause I'm just looking back at our school days and playing first 15, and I think now, God, imagine if that was like this today. But we would, you were a hero if you were a drinker, and we would have rostered. So after every game on Saturday, it would be rostered. There'd be a rostered party at someone's house. So each of our parents would host a social occasion after the aftermatch, and we go back to their place. And more often than not, there was a cake put on. And we were 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
And schools won't have that now. I wouldn't have thought they'd have it now.
No, absolutely not. I think these sort of figures, if you like, that we've just talked about show a huge cultural change. And we've done that ourselves. That hasn't been a regulatory change. That's been a change by society. And when you have a look at just the different products and things like that we're actually drinking, I mean, we're drinking very differently, including we do things like we will often get, say, a bit of a treat, if you like, and we'll have a nice beer, wine, or a cocktail or something like that, and we'll sit on it. Or you see the low alcohol beverages as well are coming in, and we're using a lot of no and low alcohol beverages. And there's an increasing sort of consumer focus on moderation, health and wellness is also having a really positive impact. And it's really important that we've got to remind ourselves, and some of this is about good reminding stuff about providing zero alcohol products, particularly if you're driving or if you're pregnant or if you're simply choosing not to drink. And more people are actually choosing not to drink as well. I think the other thing too that's come into play here is the New Zealand breweries, distilleries and winemakers. They've invested in innovation to enhance their no and low beer, wine and spirits with greater choice.
Yeah, and they've had to. If they want to survive, they have to innovate, don't they? To survive, you have to innovate and evolve.
Absolutely. Yes, you do.
Now,
quite interesting. Yeah. We run can I just say one thing? We do a consumer poll with Curia Market Research, Yeah, there's about 1,000 New Zealanders we asked in December of last year, so it's pretty recent. 55% of us actually have been drinking low alcohol beverages at least some of the time in that previous year. It was up 6% on the year before. It's quite a lot of us, isn't it, that are actually sort of moving in the way and sort of saying, right, I may have, a 4% beer over there, and then I'll move because I'm, got other commitments, or, I want to wake up with a clear head in the morning, I'm going to move to no or low alcohol products. And that's a really good thing to do. And we're seeing a lot of that happening as well.
Yeah, I was at a function the other day, which was after a rugby tournament. We went back to some parents' houses, and the parents set a few drinks and everything. And for the first time in a long time, I had a couple of vodka in a bottle. They were vodka soda-y type drink, and I had two. And a couple of guys said, "Oh, you're slow on those, mate." And I'm like, "Oh, that's normal." Then at the end of the second one, I sort of looked around and I thought, "I'm going to tap out of here because I want to get up in the middle of the night and watch some sport." So I was gone after two, and I know it was a big night. I ended up, right the way through the evening, but I wasn't there. And previously I would have been there, and now I don't know what it is. Is it why are we not drinking anymore? What's happened to us? Have we made lots of mistakes, so we regret it, or have we?
I don't think so. I think we want to do other things, and I think that's a good thing, really. And I think you're probably referring to some of those RTDs. The quite good thing now is you can look on the side of the can and see, well, how many standard drinks are in there. And, I mean, the recommendation of the low alcohol from, Health New Zealand is no more than 15 standard drinks a week for men and no more than 10 standard drinks for women, and have a really good look at that. And I think people are acknowledging they're thinking about their health, and they're sticking to those sort of things, because those stats before I gave you, the 84% are sticking to exactly that kind of information that's provided to us from Health New Zealand. We are doing it differently, and I think it's a really good thing.
15 a week, that seems like a lot.
No, 15 standard drinks. So it depends, for instance. Have a look, as I say, on the side of your can. It depends what's in there and the percentage of alcohol. It could be for instance, with wine, as an example, that's 100 mils. So, you need to, and it's only 2 standard drinks a day for women, 3 standard drinks a day for men, that's the maximum, and have at least 2 days off a week. So, for instance, if I'm going to have a glass of wine tonight, I might have 1 glass of wine and just finish it there, which might be 1 or 1.5 standard drinks. So monitor and really have a look to see what you are consuming. But the information is out there generally as to what you're drinking. And if you are, for instance, getting a cocktail, then ask the barman and say, right, tell me how many standard drinks are in there.
Yeah.
It's a helpful thing to do.